G'day guys, this one is super simple. I've been doing it all this week. This week is all about making things simple for yourself, and if you can't afford to buy that full collection, this is your week, because I'm using individual papers that I've not actually purchased an entire collection with, and I'm showing you how you can get them to work together. So I've pulled out a couple of PINKFRESH studio papers. I've got one, they're both from Happy Blooms collection. One is Memories and one is Together. So I absolutely love these daisies. They're so gorgeous. I absolutely love them. And the blue in the background, it's like a cornflower. It's just beautiful. And I wanted to do something with a diamond shape. What I'm trying to get you guys to do is start thinking about, like, you could look at this paper and go, oh, what on earth am I ever going to do with that, right? So the pattern on the paper that I was using was not square. It just, each of these squares mustn't be, I don't know why, but anyway, I ended up using it in a diamond shape and I did get it to work. I was struggling a little bit initially, and then I was like, no, I know what I'm going to do with it. And I think that's what we need to do sometimes. We need to sit back and look at our papers, our mixed media, whatever we have in our hand, or whatever we have at hand, I should say. And I think we need to sort of start thinking about it outside the box. So this is a very busy background paper that I wouldn't normally use on a background. So what I decided to do instead was cut a diamond. It's obviously not a true diamond, but it's, you know, it's close enough that I'm able to trim it all down and make it work. And that's what's important. Sometimes when you have really busy papers like these guys, you sort of go, not sure where I'm going to use that. How on earth am I going to use that? And this particular one was like that. So, nothing like a bit of pattern on pattern, but break it up with another color. If you don't have black, consider it to be blue. Consider it to be yellow on this page. If I had have used yellow here, those daisies would have popped off the page. Big time. But I didn't have a 12 by 12 in yellow. So this is why I just got in and I thought, no, I'm going to make this work. So, now the photos I'm using are actually just Angela when she was really little, and we'd been over to Nanny and Poppy's, and we were either just arriving or just leaving. I can't really remember which, but she was doing her usual, I'm giving you a hug, but I'm not really hugging you sort of hug. She was a funny little human. She was dead set. I absolutely adore her. I love how she's got that drive in her. You know, when you look at someone and you go, they're going to go places because they've got drive. They've got, they're spatially aware of whatever is going on around them. And they're very, very aware of everything. And that was Ange. She was always. That's what she would do. And she was not a cuddler. I know her boyfriend right now would be begging to differ, but I assure you, she was not much of a hugger. You can see her here. It was very, oh, for God's sake, I'm going to give you a hug. Like, you can just see the look on her face. And she was even like that with me and her father. Like, she just wasn't a hugger. It's just who she was. So, but she has completely grown into her own. And I get more cuddles these days, which is good. So now this is the bit where you guys are going to go, oh my God, Karen's using ephemera. Yes. Okay. I'm going to call this for what it is. Okay. I don't normally use ephemera like this. I know some people, that's how they scrapbook, and hats off to you guys, because boy, did I struggle. I sat there and I was going through this packet of ephemera and I'm like, I'm going to use it. Somehow I'm going to get this stuff on this layout. I'm going to try. I swear to God, I think I used 5 pieces, maybe 6. It was so difficult for me to use this. Now, because this week I'm trying to back off the mixed media a little bit, I didn't really want to fall back on my mixed media, so I wanted to use these things, and I think I do it okay. I wouldn't say I'm the best at using ephemera, but, you know, at the end of the day, you can't be skillful at everything is what I'm going to say. So sometimes I have people say to me, I could never do a layout like you. I could never draw lines like you. I could, you know, I mean, the list goes on. You know what? I can't use ephemera like you guys do. I just can't. I look at it and think, I don't know what I think. I love me some words. Okay, I'll be honest with that. I absolutely love my words. And I love my flowers. Yep. But I don't like the big chunky white bits on the outside. So at the moment, I'm just fussy cutting the edges off. And boy, oh boy, did I struggle. This particular packet didn't have very many flowers in it. So that I struggled with a little bit. But I wanted to just add like a cluster. I was trying to work out a cluster top and bottom. But there's just not the right amount of pieces in this for me, for my brain, to create a cluster. For me, a cluster has to have some flowers or some squares, some shapes, some stenciling, some stamping, something along those lines, because honestly, yeah, it was not easy. Not easy at all. Don't worry, don't adjust your TV. I'm coming back. So this is where I decided that I'm going to go to town, going to cut these edges, and I actually got up and stepped away from the desk for a minute because sometimes that really helps. Sometimes if you're sitting there and you've got a block, you just cannot for the life of you see where to go next. Stand up. Oh, check these biscuits out. Did you see that? Oh my goodness. It was so good. Tailor-made caramel shortbread. I've got to tell you, I'm overweight to Billy-O, and I tell you what, that child has learnt how to cook, and that is a bad thing, because I just want to eat the whole lot, but I won't. So I think she made, what did she make? Shortbread, caramel biscuits. She made chocolate brownies. She made a vanilla cake, and I hope that's all she made. But, you know, hey, look, if someone wants to get in the kitchen and do some baking and it doesn't involve me, that completely works for me. Totally. Now, where am I at? Okay, I've decided, I'm committing. I've cut that little vase. I cut the top off the vase. And it sort of works better if it's yellow like that. I think it sort of gives itself somewhere to sit, which works beautifully. The flowers, look, I struggled with the foam dots, okay? I needed to do foam dots under them because of the height difference of the photo. So there was a bit of play on words there. I sort of, I'll raise it up and I'll see how I go. If I say this is not my favorite layout, it is not because of the background and it is not because of the photos. I think I limited myself too much by just pulling out the ephemera. I think I should have considered using something else, maybe diamonds, maybe some stamping perhaps, but I didn't want to clutter up that beautiful background. Like I didn't want to do that. So I like where it ends up, but I can see, just watching it back, I can see the struggle I was having. And as I always say to you guys, good, bad, and the ugly. When it comes to this channel, that's what you get. I don't cut things out. I speed it up so you can watch it in fast or slow. It's completely your call. And it just gives you the opportunity to see us YouTubers in all our glory, because that's what it is. Sometimes it works and, well, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it just doesn't work at all. Not one little bit. Sorry, don't mind me. I just need some water. Okay. All the feels. Now, when I found that word in amongst all that, I thought, yep, that's exactly what this page needs. It needs to be all the feels, because Nanny and Poppy were so happy to have cuddles, but she wasn't. So I reached this point and I went, you know what? Stop and just go through and add some sprinkly bits. So I went through with Periwinkle, Liquid Pearls. I went through with Periwinkle. Then I went through with Sunflower. I also went through with Marigold, Coral, and I do believe I had some white opal in there as well. I'm actually looking at them because they're still sitting on my desk in front of me. I don't think I used Ballerina. It's on the desk, but I'm pretty sure I didn't use it. I think I used Coral instead. Basically, these things bring your pages to life. They add a little bit of depth, a little bit of metallic, shimmer and shine, and I absolutely love them. Now, you've got to be careful, because once you put them all down, then you've got to go, right, don't smudge them. Secretly, on the side, Secret Squirrel, guess what? I smudge them all the time. I'm hopeless. Sometimes it's just ridiculous. It's all right if it's not black. Black, there is no coming back from black. When you smudge that, she's smudged good and proper. But the white and the gold and the periwinkle and the coral, this is the coral I'm using at the moment, and oh wow, it is stunning. It's the most beautiful peachy color. It is just divine. Divine. I don't even use that word very often. Divine. Absolutely divine. Sounds weird when you say it like that, doesn't it? Yeah, so that is my layout, guys. This is me adding my little bits of pearly nuggets of goodness. I absolutely love them. And I think at this point, oh, I think I do, actually, I do some extra, I did a bit of pen work. Not a lot, just a little bit, because sometimes that's all you need is just a little tiny bit. Now, what I'm using my Cricut hook for is I've put some blobs down and I'm actually dragging on them to create the illusion of more depth in the flowers. So I do zoom in on that, and in the photos over on Facebook you can see them up closer, or Instagram you can see that, and it works a treat. It's really cool. Like, if you do that, it just gives you another dimensional bit of something. So when you're putting your dots down, dots are great. Don't get me wrong. I use dots all the time. But if you do a drop and you drag it a little bit, drag it into a shape, you know, like I was dragging this into a bit of a curve. So it's giving the illusion, that the flowers have more depth. That's what it's doing. And I really liked how they turned out. I wish I had more of the flowers though, so that I could have made a really good bulky floral arrangement, but I think this paper could have handled it. Sometimes I look and I think, no, stop, because it's getting too big and chunky. But I really think, because this is pattern on pattern, I think it could have handled it. So, you know, hindsight, wonderful thing. For me, I would have just had some more florals, but that's okay. Didn't have them. So there, that's no harm, no foul. It's all good. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Now I'm just adding a little bit more black under there, because like I say, I like to have black. If I'm putting it on there once, I've got to have it on there 3 times. So here's the close-up for you guys. See, the daisies in the center now have gold in them, and on the white background you can see where I've added the teeny tiny periwinkle dots, and see on the flowers, see how I've dragged it into the shape. And yeah, I think that works really, really well. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Please like, subscribe, all that sort of fun stuff. And I will be back tomorrow with another video. Thanks so much for watching. Chat to you later. Bye for now.